Gentlemen, we started with a best of 5, went down to a best of 3, and now it all comes down to this one last game. All tied up. This is what we like to see in a winter bracket finals.
I'm enjoying myself. I hope the viewers are as well.
Hopefully not too much, but it's been quite good. It's been great Dota today.
I just had to settle down. I probably shouldn't be drinking more Red Bull. This is just like bringing the energy up even more. I don't need the Red Bull to bring the energy here.
No, these games have been really high. Yeah. Both teams playing at their absolute max. Obviously, a lot on the line here. Really want to fight to make it to the summit. Now, again, this is winter bracket, so the loser of this will have to face off against Cloud9, waiting for them in the lower bracket finals. Another best of 5 coming up tomorrow, so there will be a chance at redemption, and then after that, there will be a chance at the redemption vote. So for these two teams, still far from out of it, but it's nice to be the first European team that's qualified. And we can just rest easy and watch everybody else fight over that second slot.
And with the LAN, not entirely sure, but maybe seeding could matter whether you get the first or the second slot going into the LAN.
Fair point as well. So
we got a draft.
We do, and it's a little bit different. Finally, the bloody troll is banned out, and the one hero that's been banned out in all of the other games except this one, the Night Stalker. First picked by ASUS.Polar. What are we thinking here? We've seen this hero be on the rise. Cloud9, the team that's been after Vision, have really utilized him quite well. I don't know.
Vision mattered. We saw last game, really the key pick was the Zeus. The Zeus ulti, which... well, the Zeus ulti is great because it not only gives Vision, but it also cancels out the Blink daggers. But Night Stalker kind of can do a similar thing. And less so with the cancelling of Blink daggers, although you do get that flying vision, so often you can see heroes coming in well before they see you.
10 seconds
just being that kind of tanky, generally plays that 4 position support if you're talking about Cloud9. We'll see if ASUS.Polar have him around there, or if it's going to be... With the Axe pickup, it doesn't look like it's going to be that offlane Night Stalker that some teams also run, so probably a 4 position.
Yeah.
Dire's banned.
Night Stalker is very annoying, but I just don't put him on that same tier as Troll for the reason that you talked about in the last game. That Troll is one of few carries that can really close out a game. You take a bad fight, you take 2 bad fights, and then all of a sudden, like we saw in that game before, game 4 rather, Troll is huge and just insurmountable.
Yep.
Night Stalker is just, he's annoying, he's scary, he can help your carries get there, but by himself, he's just not nearly it. I think Secret are probably happy to have the Troll banned out, even though they had to give away the Night Stalker. Bristleback Shadow Fiend, a great opener for them on Dire's side. Some great synergy there with minus armor and the huge AoE physical the Troll or the Bristleback does. And I've said Troll so many times over the past 5 hours, it's just like ingrained in my vocabulary.
I'm looking at these specs, I'm like just seeing 10 Troll Warlords.
Yeah, between getting trolled by Twitch chat and casting Troll, I'm trolled out. It's too much. Witch Doctor, we'll also see him for the first time this series here, coming in game number 5. Picked up by ASUS.Polar, but another great support. Lion from Secret, no big surprise there.
To put together that big kind of scary team fight 5-man lineup that Polar liked to run, Witch Doctor with the ulti, the cast fits in very nicely there, and also lane stage wise can actually be one of the better heroes as far as zoning out Bristleback with some... See Polar have a better lane stage. I think the Night Stalker kind of playing that 4 position support can offer a bit more there, so maybe something that where for the first game we won't see Polar just fall behind from the get-go.
Yeah.
But Secret's early game is just phenomenal.
Queen thinking pretty hard about this. Ah, there she is. We couldn't have a Secret game without a Queen of Pain. She still wasn't banned out. This series, we saw her in that first picking couplet, all 4 games for Secret, and now she'll be 4th picked.
I think
5 games in a row.
I think this will be an S4 safe lane Queen of Pain. Arteezy going mid on the SF.
And the off lane Zai on the Bristle.
This is more what they were doing at DAC when they had a lot of success. They were picking the Queen of Pain, not quite as much as they've been picking it today. Is this 5 games of Queen of Pain or 4?
This is game 5. She's been in every single one.
The neutral Warlord, although not winning every game. Yeah, Secret's been picking it 5 games in a row.
5 seconds. Hurry,
But I think safe lane, good against the Axe as far as zoning him out, because it forces the Doi to probably rotate to the jungle very early on. And Night Stalker often kind of looks to support that offlane just with his tankiness, contest those top runes. And that's another hero that can kind of be dealt with somewhat by the Shadow Striker. Can go both ways though, because both Axe and Night Stalker have ways of... when you get a blink, you can lock Queen of Pain in place. You get the Night Stalker with the silence early on, so they do have ways of killing off the Queen of... Laning-wise, this is partly why Secret, game after game, and getting that big edge in the lane. Pain is laning stage dominator.
Well, what do ASUS.Polar take?
Let's see. They
need a support, and they'll need their other core.
I think they had this. I think Witch Doctor and Night Stalker, they're two support.
You think Night Stalker is definitely on the 4 here?
Like fairly, like leaning like 75-80%.
I mean, they could always do like a safe lane axe with a Night Stalker in the off lane.
Yeah.
They could do the safe lane Night Stalker. I don't think they will. I've only seen a couple of teams do that. I know Loda's done it a few times, but it's very risky. If it backfires at all, if he loses that momentum, it's not so hot.
Go for a Jug, get like a Magnus Jug last 2 picks. You can do like the Magnus again for G and have a Jug as your safe lane farm. I think Jug's a pretty good pick here.
Yeah, sure.
Other less conventional ones is the Slack, which is still in the pool. I would have said Zeus for the mid lane. It works. I mean, you combine the vision of the Night Stalker with the Zeus and cancel out some of those blink daggers. You're in a lot of trouble if you're a secret. But I think
we've seen, I was just going to say Luna. Damn it, I wish I said that a moment before. So we saw Cloud9 do this yesterday, where you are just become the masters of the night. Night Stalker to reduce the other team's vision, and Luna to give you that beautiful nighttime vision. It's good on paper. I think that idea is really strong, but Luna has trouble closing out games, I think. Great carry when she gets 6 slotted, but she's got one of those power curves kind of like Zeus, where she's amazing early on with the burst damage, kind of falls off a little bit in the mid-game, then comes surging back once those glaives are trucking through your base.
Yep.
But she may struggle a little bit. Very squishy hero in the mid-game, and I don't know. What do you think here?
I think it's okay. I don't think it's
solid.
Yeah, I think it could have been the Juggernaut's the only real other option that stands out to me that could have worked. It seems to be the generally more safer pick that most teams are going for, but ASUS.Polar obviously have something a bit different in mind with the Luna. I think Jug just as a flash farmer is a bit better with that Mask of Madness, Phase, Quelling Blade, Jazz, and maybe would have been it would have been the safer pick.
Smart final bans, though. Secret, take out that prize Magnus.
So what does G go here? That's really the big question, and there's bans like every single ban has been a G hero. The Troll, Sniper, Lina, Magnus, the Zeus kind of is a mid lane hero for a lot of the time, so. And then the SF and Quap, 2 other G heroes have been taken by Secret themselves, so mid laners are kind of limited. Could be a Puck, but that doesn't really dominate the mid lane against an SF by any means.
Only 10 seconds.
If you want to go for the push with the Luna, you can go old school with like a Dragon Knight, but.
Radiant team are now picking.
Oh, that's a support beast. That's a puppy beast.
Is it? There's a lot of flexibility here. I've seen Zai play Bristleback, Beastmaster, and Queen of Pain in the offlane, so he could really take any of those. It could be a position for Quap as well.
I'm a fan of the position for Quap. I've never seen Secret do it, but when I've seen it run by Tongfu, who did it during DAC, and I think there's one team that's done it since.
If you've got a pocket strat, this is the game to do it, man. This is what it all comes down to.
Storm.
And they take the Storm.
Okay, that's
Dire
I
team
completely missed that Storm is still there. That's really the only G hero that was left in the pool. So that and the Puck to some extent.
Yeah, I don't think Puck would have been. I think they need something with a little more late game in mind here. Not that Puck's bad in the late game, but Storm I think undoubtedly better. Definitely scales more with items. Okay. So it will be the Puppy Beastmaster. Looks like you had it right. Arteezy will take the Shadow Fiend. So now the question is. Going on with the Quap and the Bristle. Probably S4 Quap mid. And Zai takes the.
I think S4 is going safe lane.
That's
May change with the Storm pickup if they want to put S4 there as more of a lane dominator, but I think S4 can
only 10
do
seconds.
better as far as pressuring the axe, and Arteezy at least breaks even mid lane. There's no real. I guess FNG and the Night Stalker could pose some pressure onto Arteezy. Could be an okay lane for SF, at least until Storm hits 6.
Okay, well, we'll load in here our final game of the Summit 3. You're up for today, folks. America is just about to get started. You'll have to head over to BTS 2 if that's what you're trying to find. Those of you just joining us here, this is the final ace match for the winner bracket finals, Secret versus ASUS.Polar. The winner of this will be qualifying for the Summit. Go through some rosters quickly here. Illidan, he takes the Luna to the safe lane. Lil, he'll be here on the Witch Doctor, joining his Luna buddy. Sadoy on the axe will be headed off lane, probably in the jungle more than the off lane, but the off laner nonetheless. G mid on the Storm Spear, and that puts FNG on the Night Stalker, supporting away.
Okay, so how things unravel here. It looks like Secret going to be looking to secure the bottom bounty rune. Arteezy and Zai both down there, but bounty rune, which it looks like ASUS.Polar also have their eyes on with G. They're down there as well as the rest of the Polar squad.
30
can always
seconds
cover
to
the top
battle.
This will be quite the skirmish.
It does look like S4 is going mid, though. Based on items and Arteezy having the Ring of Protection, Arteezy will be going safe line.
Okay, yeah, the double pulled Tango. Yeah, I think you're right. With that early Ring of Protection there. So I guess making sure, like you said, Shadow Fiend a little more susceptible mid lane, Queen of Pain a bit more flexible. S4 should do fine against the Storm Spirit. Now you know Arteezy will have a good early game. Zai really wanted that rune, but backs out. He gets hit by the cast. Big stun coming out from Kuro, and it looks like that'll be just enough to keep the Bristleback alive. Earth Spike on 3, making the difference there. Nicely played.
Nice guy.
1 bounty rune for each mid laner, so G and S4 gonna have a little head start here.
Zai already chewing through his sal for the offlane, so he's gonna be somewhat HP regen limited down here, and Witch Doctor should be able to zone him out pretty well. Does have the first point in cast off. Sometimes you see that level 1 Maledict come into play when you want to zone out a bit more, but went for the kill with the cask and still poking prod at Zai, who much less HP.
I think there's a good chance we do see the Maledict build come into very good. It gets the Bristleback. Probably one of the main reasons they picked up the Witch Doctor so early on, to be honest. First time we've seen him this series, I believe. So, off lane already abandoned by ASUS.Polar. It's going to be free farm for Arteezy. Sadoy's learned his lesson throughout this series, and I'm just going to stack. I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to do what I can in the jungle. Because
kind of reminiscent of the old Polar offlaner Mag, who used to sometimes go level 1 jungle on. Even a hero like a Venomancer is like...
Sometimes, he says. There was this window when Mag would just level 1 jungle every single game.
Yep.
For better or for worse, that was just his main squeeze.
It'd be like a dual lane with like a bad support, and he'd be like, I'm
in the jungle, guys.
Yeah.
I got to prioritize my farm. It worked really well for like 2 weeks when people weren't ready for it. Like Venomancer, you don't expect level 1 jungle, but once people got suspicious to it, it's like, well, that's an easy roam. That's an easy kill. And we will put somebody in the off lane. Looks like FNG will actually be the one to rotate. So ASUS.Polar opting for a slightly greedier setup with really a dedicated jungling axe and now the off lane Night Stalker. Curious how this will end up working out.
Yeah. The nature of the Beastmaster, he's kind of a greedy 4-position hero too. He doesn't really pressure the lane, can't really gank. So you know Beastmaster is just going to be looking to leech XP, do pulls, farm the jungle, so you can get away with this if you're Polar. You're kind of trading your opponent having a greedy core, but you running a greedy offlaner going straight into the jungle.
Yeah. Kuro and FNG will battle it out for the top rune. Kuro will best him. Here's the bounty rune for himself after another one-time Earth Spike. Down bottom, Axe finds an invisibility rune as he chews through a salve. Much of this at only level 2 with no Berserk.
Mid not having fun against the Queen of Pain is 70 gold short of his bottle. Can't even use this pulled Tango he's just got, and doesn't have mana or HP. If he goes forward, S4's going in for the kill. This is where I think G got the bounty rune. Was it?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
S4 and G both got that initial bounty rune.
Even so, it's the slightly fast. F and G is in this mid lane just to secure G's bottle. This was like, he was near mid lane after getting the rune, and G's like, come and help me farm my bottle, because without it, S4 just crushes this mid.
Looks like that little rotation is enough to keep things leveled out. S4 does some bottle crowing himself, sends that slow-ass courier back with his empty bottle. Painful to see how slow these couriers are with those empty bottles. I like the change, but
yeah,
feel for the courier.
Going to be doing the same thing, I imagine. Oh, S4 does see the courier, but hits 3 minutes, an immediate upgrade. Can't really bottle up, though, during the Shadow Strike. At least not get, he won't get the full HP mana regen. Pesky stuff.
Sure. So both safe laners farming on point with each other. Illidan as well as Arteezy, about what you would expect. Basically uncontested. Zai not able to do much to slow down the farm of the Luna. They will dive him here. Zai's been able to pick up a couple of last hits. Probably just trying to zone him as far away from these creeps as possible. Looks like 3 range creeps. A big push into the tower will get Zai very close to level 4 and gonna allow him to do some harassment onto Illidan as he retreats and takes a tower shot. Turning out pretty well for the Bristleback, all things considered. Finds a few stray last hits there under the tower. Compare him to someone like the Axe, who's doing okay in the jungle, but not really farming too quickly. Nor is this Night Stalker, who's kind of been ping-ponging back and forth between top and mid.
He's still working towards those Tranquil Boots. So FNG will do de-hawking here near the top rune here, but he's not going to be able to go in for the Billboard. And Kuro actually going in on him. He does hit nighttime, so he gets a bit of a movement speed first, but the Queen of Pain rotation.
There you go.
First blood, S4.
The power of the boar. That's slow, so easy to underestimate, but even at level 2, the poison does a 20% slow. Sets that whole thing up and makes it possible. S4 already dominating that mid lane, but now with a haste rune, his signature rune, of course, and a first blood. Pretty much everything the Son of Magnus could ever top lane. There's been multiple TPs here. The Impale actually doesn't land on the King and Night Stalker. was the delayed TPs this time.
Another Hawk goes down, so look at finding these for the most part, and just taking out some of that vision of Puppey.
Little extra bounty going his...
Puppey's getting some decent jungle farm though. He's bottom of the net worth as far as the Dire team goes, but he's out farming both Radiant supports and getting close to that level 4, so it feels like, I mean, as per usual, Secret get the farm distribution much more evenly between their lineup, and then the Radiant side kind of prioritize 1 or 2 core heroes, being G as well as Illidan, while Sidoi plays that more kind of initiator type role with a lot less farm.
Die trying to press forward in the bottom, but will get zoned out as Lil comes back to the lane and gives him the little poke. Witch Doctor doing the pretty standard build here, not trying to counter the Bristleback with the Maledict. It's going level Mask, and here's your Voodoo Restoration at level 1. He'll need to use it as well. Choose through a salve as Zai does a surprising amount of damage. Death.
Ring of Aqua and Arteezy at top. Looks like he wants to be able to pressure this tier 1 tower as much as possible, since the Axe is just going to ditch the offlane.
Top tower is being attacked.
Bottom, Zai finding himself in a world of hurt. Nice rotation from FNG. Line will come down. Kuro needs to be a little careful here. There's a lot of heroes here. Sonic Wave from S4 connects on 3. Finds the kill onto Illidan. It's a 1 for 2 so far, but they hasted up S4.
The S4 rune, the magic.
Radiant's top tower is under siege.
He can blink into 4 heroes, get a kill and get out with it.
What a Sonic Wave. I guess the Lion was bait there to make sure they all stick
Dire's
around.
middle tower taking
So
damage.
I guess worth it. They get the kill on the Luna.
So it was
that's
a
a kill.
2-for-1, but
Yeah,
Crystal was already dead.
Yeah, it's a kill. If it's a kill on anyone else, maybe not quite as worth it, but to kill the prize to Luna, I think absolutely okay there. So S4, worth his time to rotate down, and all the while, that's more space made for Arteezy to pressure the top tier 1 tower, and he does finish it off.
Actually gets the tower. And Illidan, considering he's working on a Midas rush, it's a bigger kill to slow down that fast Midas. We'll see G get some uncontested farm in the mid lane while the Queen of Pain was gone, but S4's back with an invis this time, and lane is going to remain a struggle for your Storm Spirit.
My. Queen of Pain, one of the scarier heroes in the pool, and she has complete rune control. So much flexibility, and when you get haste and Viz, double damage, the kill potential is just through. Especially at this early stage when she's already so burst. Okay, let's glance at the graphs here, see what things are saying. Secret, 2,500 gold, 500 XP.
Secret.
Yeah, like you said, I feel like at this window in every game, that's about what the graph looks like.
At the same time, considering this has been the last 4 games, I don't look at this and be like, oh, Secret in the lead. I feel like this is just generally the ASUS.Polar. Wait till Sidoi gets Blink Dagger.
But I would say one key difference here is the Luna being a little more momentum-based of a carry. Illidan's getting shut down a little bit more in this game than he has before, and going for that Midas first, that may open up this window for Secret to get pretty aggressive. What build does Arteezy look at here? Still haven't seen it yet. If it's the Yules, that kind of hits that best of both worlds where he can farm and also fight, while Luna is still just going to be desperately looking for spaces to hide and kill neutrals.
Blink seems pretty solid this game. Maybe considers the mech as a possibility. Group up more with his team, but that generally hasn't been Secret's playstyle. They're looking to farm the map and spread the wealth a lot more and find pickoffs where they can, rather than take the 5v5 engagement.
Die, only level 4, not getting too much space in this bottom lane, has 7 last hits, and now the wraparound begins. Moonbeam to get things started. Oh, the casket will bounce into the creep wave. How unfortunate for Lil. Zai just moves into the trees, turns his back.
There's an Eclipse here.
And he's going for it. Oh, but Sidoi gets body blocked. Oh my, Kuro comes in with a stun as well. Is he trying to bait this out?
That was a 4-second TP because he TP'd to the T1 tower. That was a big mistake from Zai, but it didn't get punished. I mean, Polar don't really...
It was a bigger mistake from Lil. They were coming in with the Berserker's Call to interrupt it, and Lil took it away. Now he's going to get punished. He'll get brought down. That's another kill for S4.
I think Illidan could have tried to, like, go close to the trees to get the Eclipse off to finish off the Bristleback down bottom lane, but wanted to make sure if he does that and there's like a couple quills and Bristleback turns his back, maybe Illidan dies. So I don't blame him for playing it safe.
Radiant's
Heads up,
bottom
unfortunate for
tower under
Aces
fire.
His boy is getting out of control. He's massive.
Arteezy, he's going for the mech here. So that's Secret looking to get more aggressive. I think, especially S4 getting a start like this, he will go for the Orchid, it seems. Magi already in the inventory, and
Radiant's middle
items
tower
like
is
that,
being
if they can bring those out like 12, 13 minutes in, that's when ASUS.Polar will not be looking for fights. Storm's looking for his basic kit. Luna has nothing but a Midas right now. Sadoy gets jumped on. This is pre-blink, a perfect time to try and shut him down. Sonic Wave is there, and auto attacks to finish it off. They split, but the cast will still find one bounce. S4 doesn't have a blink for another few seconds, and he'll fall. It's G that comes in with a long-range zip to finish him off. Now Kuro on the run. He may make it out. FNG pops the darkness, but just not fast enough on those brown boots.
Trinkles too. Lion gets a movement speed burst and will get out. So G finds his first kill and first bit of involvement in the game. I like his plays. He's mostly just farming the couple jungle camps he can, farming the mid lane, and will rotate only when he's kind of guaranteed a kill where his teammates basically baited out. So he sees the teammate get ganked out, and then he's like, okay, they overcommit for that. I can punish them with the ball lightning, as he just did. That's basically going to be G's play for the next kind of 5-10 minutes. His slow start.
Yeah, that is the right way to do it. Zai leeching to level 6 here in the bottom lane. Just power treads. Still doing a rather good job making his presence known in the lane. And he's been pretty effective bait. That last series of kills that came about in the bottom lane all started because Zai was here and looking appealing, I guess. FNG, invisibility rune on. They're stalking him out, but it's daytime with no darkness. Will not be an easy kill. This is 3 heroes that are occupied.
You pop the Eclipse, and then suddenly it is nighttime, and they may be just that. There's your ulti. They're gonna not even use the silence.
Okay, that's all you need. Eclipse for an easy kill.
Take that. Zai now, that's second death, and he has not got much farm at all. He got a double stack at his Ancients as well, often where you see the Bristleback kind of catch up and finish off their treads, their bit booster, and build towards the Vanguard, but he hasn't got much farm. But Puppy's kind of making up for that. He's level 7, has the Tranquil Soul Ring probably coming up very soon, or maybe it's going to be a Medallion, but the rest of his team's making up for it.
Turning into a support Bristleback at this point with a God or Puppy.
Even Lion, Kuro with a lot more farm than Bristle.
Got a smoke as well. Tier 1 tower in the mid goes down. Arteezy will be the one to grab the last hit. He's killed both of the Tier 1 towers that Secret has picked up. The Shadow Fiend's farm still quite impressive, even besting that of S4. Illidan will just try to TP out. Definitely the right call here. Yeah. Big bad Arteezy comes walking his way through.
Zai the safe lane. That's something where if you see Zai up top and you can bring a couple heroes to gank him, you know he's already behind. If you can keep him down, could go a long way to kind of hurting Secret in the mid game.
Now the mech is out on Shadow Fiend, so he gets bigger, and team fight from Secret gets stronger. We'll back off of Zai for now, and Arteezy, he just wants these towers. Pull the creep wave back with the boar here.
Top
Nicely
lane.
played by Puppy.
It's nighttime, they're going in with full light, and Zai will get pulled into a deathboard, I believe, and yeah, they want to keep on killing Zai. This is not a hero that offers anything without farm. He's got level 7 at least, but he's got only strength treads at 12 minutes in.
No, this is a hero very momentum-based, and we see Bristleback usually get pretty high farm priority, and that's what makes that hero look so strong. But in situations like this, I think the best thing you can do is just try and team fight, get some of that assist gold, do what you can to linger nearby, and start that recovery. He's already gotten 3 Tier 1 towers worth of gold to help him out, and it still hasn't been enough. Arteezy getting the 3rd tower kill down the bottom. Shadow Fiend is just massive. Blink Dagger, though, up on Sadoy. This is usually what ASUS.Polar are waiting for. See how they react.
Yeah. It's the Axe. I mean, the one game he kind of struggled was when it was on that Centaur, the Axe against Sadoy. This is just 0-1 and 0, yet to get involved in anything, but that's going to quickly change. And this is not a very big... This is the smallest gold lead we've seen Secret have at 13 to 15 minutes in the game. Just a 2,000 gold lead because of how much Zai's been shut down. Yeah, S4 and Arteezy are farming and top of the net worth, but...
Smoke gets broken, Illidan with nowhere to go. They'll find a Primal Roar deployed. S4 silence, but they'll still get the kill. Shadow Fiend finds it with the Requiem. Cast bouncing around. Will hurt the Dire, but it's just not enough. 2 cores fall. Axe and Luna in the grave. Great smoke rotation from Secret, and maybe just a little bit lucky that ASUS.Polar happened to be in that awkward position with Luna trying to farm this camp and having absolutely no exit.
They had no way to protect the Luna there. Once they get that initiation roar, as long as Secret aren't grouped up, the only way Polar could stand a chance is if they hit like a 3-4 hero call. Then Secret just weren't grouped up for that, so Secret will get a tower up. They didn't even have mana or need the mech from Arteezy. That was just a straight up easy couple of kills, an easy T2 tower. They can fall back and even consider Roshan at some point. That's another place where Zai can offer some help to his team despite how underfarmed he is, just by using the blue to help bring down Rune.
Yeah. I think they do want to prioritize some ancient stacks, though. That is another way this Bristol can recover to find at least a basic kit. I mean, he can go back and get items like Halberd, great utility there, even just an S and Y to start the recovery. Vanguard may be his first choice, though, just so he can find a baseline of HP and damage mitigation. Could be an okay game for the Crimson Guard as well. A lot of right-clicking and physical damage to come out, and I think a worthy pickup if that's what he wants to go. Crimson Guard work against Death Ward? It absolutely should. I'm almost positive it does, but don't see it very often.
It does.
Does it not? Is this one of the ones that is... there are a few exceptions.
It's a special exception, maybe.
Yeah, there are a few exceptions that are physical but still pierce through, and Death Ward is one I'm not sure about.
On my laptop, I have like this link save which like keeps track of all the stuff. I don't know. I haven't memorized it.
I mean, that one's pretty obscure. Honestly, you don't really see it come. Even if you have a Crimson Guard on the other team against him, it's just not that often you see a Death Ward.
Looking to just tank straight up, picks up an ulti orb, so either a Skadi or a Mantis Star going to be his first time. Probably the Skadi since he didn't go for the value yet. That's the survivability.
Yep. Now Secret moving to the Roach Pit. We'll take a look at Radiant Vision here.
It is nighttime, but they're not afraid here. They've got Hawks on the dire side, and they will see a movement in.
Exactly right. The Hawk is what tips the scales. Roach at about 50%. ASUS.Polar do have some really good vision here. They see all of Secret. They've got a lot of wards down. They even put down a sentry to further their vision control. Roche getting very low, down below 10%. They'll initiate on the Puppy. Who's going to get the Aegis? It's the Shadow Fiend. Zai goes down first, but a huge Sonic Wave from S4. Arteezy may fall. No, he's still alive. It's a 1-for-1. A lot of ASUS.Polar heroes trying to limp away. S4 in hot pursuit. We'll have another blink for FNG. This Night Stalker may well fall. A few more auto attacks will do it. Can S4 find it?
Another blink.
There's your urn.
Radiant's middle tower is being attacked.
Okay, he's not going to get it. That's a bounty rune.
Okay. Night Stalker walks out. So, 1-for-1. They only kill the Axe, but of course, Secret get the Aegis of the Immortal.
Secret just set that fight up. I mean, the only chance Polar had to win that fight was if they just timed that ball in perfectly with Storm and steal the Aegis. But Secret were not giving Axe any potential for a multiple hero call. They split apart perfectly, and it was just good positioning around the pit, knowing that Polar would have to come up with a huge play to stand a chance of winning that.
Base creation there from the Night Stalker. Puppy as well as Zai trying to group up and sandwich him, but they can't get there in time. He will home. Get back to safety. Here's your Orchid out on S4. 16 minutes. A very standard timing here. Nothing crazy about it, but still very early on. You can get a lot of utility. Storm still decently far from the Bloodstone. They'll have that Soul Booster coming up around the corner, but not there quite yet. So still a lot of utility to be found. How's Luna's farm looking? Net worth decent, but
solid.
If you subtract at least part of the gold from that Hand of Midas, she's not nearly as farmed as the graph may have you believe. This is not the time when Luna really wants to play out.
Luna can farm and all that, but I just don't see Luna really scaling amazing well the longer this game goes. You've got Queen of Pain Ranger, and can just kite around with the Queen of Pain Blink, the SF, who's just going to be going for this tanky build, can basically fight into the Eclipse even at a certain point. Once you get like Skadi with the Helm of the Dominator, you've got Life Steal, you've got Stabs, slow onto Luna. I don't think Luna can ever really match up to that.
Or getting a bit aggressive in the mid lane, puts the Orchid out, and okay, Storm will be alright. They don't have the damage to bring down Lil. He'll just TP home. They do deny the tower though, so find a victory there despite pretty big rotation. And Arteezy will go bottom to repel this push.
Fills the Aegis in hand as well, so quite possibly Secret will be looking to group up as 5, something which has been more characteristic of Team Polar. But with the Ancient stack being farmed now, it seems Zai will maybe finish this off, and then they'll look to fight around the neck of Arteezy.
There is a Blink Dagger on Lion.
Ooh, very close.
Ooh. Shows us there. Nearly finds the interrupt.
Found a nice little cubby.
This is a huge stack for Zai. What is this? At least a 4 stack, if not more. He will go back for drums. I like this play from Zai, just finding any kind of value item to give him some stats in the here and now to start that road to recovery. Very smart.
An item you only get when you're kind of in desperation state, which basically is this.
I'd say this qualifies as desperation state. Absolutely. Get close to 1,000 gold once he finishes off this big stack.
He's at least out farming his supports now. Before this ancient stack, he had less farm than both the supports on his team.
Yeah.
Finally taken over.
Will, that weak link now on the Radiant side. 1-1-4 is a decent KDA, but just no farm to go around. He's the one playing that position 5, and Night Stalker bit of farm, at least has earned, but it just feels like this Night Stalker Luna has not gotten enough done. Like I said in the draft, it's very cute on paper, but once you get into the game, it just doesn't feel like it gives you enough of an edge.
It does look like, going back to the draft, that the Juggernaut may have been the more stable pick to run Freeladin, but
Radiant's
It's easy to say that looking back and
fortified.
seeing how the Luna pick has worked out here. This offers so little as far as zoning, especially when you go for this Midas play. Top lane, they're going to try to find a pick from Puppy, but he's got TP support in the form of Zai's Wristband. Heritage is coming in, but Zai can't do anything to save Puppy in.
They might be able to find a counter kill here on FNG. He'll try to TP home. Can anyone interrupt it?
No.
Of course, all the heroes that TP in are the ones without the interrupts.
It's just Lion. That's where, I mean, SF wants to tank up, which is fine, but Lion's the only disable they've got when the Beastmaster Raw as well, but he was when he got ganked.
Yeah, yeah. Alright, so the pick on the Beastmaster. Steps in the right direction for ASUS.Polar. About a 7,500 gold lead. Somewhere about 1k experience. You have to see Sadoy gets jumped on here. Orchid comes out, a finger to boot. Soulburn will finish him off with a right-click skull. Just as the Beastmaster fell up top, the axe falls in the mid. However, the Bloodstone out on G finally gets his first core item here just around the 20-minute mark.
Played very stable this game and this series as a whole. Very different to some of the G we've seen in the past, where he's one of those players who can either make or break a game, but he's just been very consistent, stable, and hasn't made any of those kind of risky plays that sometimes have led to his team's downfall. This entire best of 5 has been... Will expire, so Secret get a bit out of that. More than anything, just deny it from ASUS.Polar.
All the outer towers are down,
Yeah.
so they got something done. They've only lost one of their own, the tier 1 in mid, and it was denied. That's a big part of why they have such a big lead.
And just used it to create space for Zai to catch up on his farm. Like, Arteezy would farm in these risky positions. He'd push down tier 2 towers with just S4 by his side, and then Zai's farming the Ancient Stacks, farming the jungle, farming the dire side of the map where there aren't any aces.
S4, 2,600 gold. Maybe a BKB up next for him. He seems to prioritize the BKB pretty early on. I feel like all of the games we've seen in this series, both teams have needed BKBs on their cores, so it definitely makes sense. But it's another game that I think it's pretty worth it.
Being, yeah, even heroes like your trolls and your juggles, your trolls like get BKBs before their Skadies and stuff. This series is a much more kind of safer and stable play. Puppy now 2.6k gold. Going for a Blink Dagger this game, or maybe considering a Necrobolt.
Those are the big two. I think the Aghanim Scepter you can pretty much take out of the equation, and yeah, it's the Necrobolt. So good stuff here. Gives you that zoo type strategy where you just have a lot of units that you can kind of zerg down towers with. Get that utility in the mana burn. Pretty good against Storm. Most of these heroes actually, the mana burn does make a big difference. So. Standard stuff, but good nonetheless. Now the BKB comes out on Luna. That's her first item after Midas. BKB. So now she can survive a little bit.
They got the burst for this. You mentioned no support inside, and that's your top net worth hero going down.
Yeah, they needed that. Luna gets the kill, no less. So that does help things get leveled out here. About 1,500 net worth trade. ASUS.Polar, and they will get this tier 1 tower. As a follow-up, it looks like Glyph won't even be used by Secret. They'll just let her go down.
Not really reading the map. I guess he thought Polar were maybe farming, defending their high ground or somewhere on their side of the map.
Their wards are very aggressive right now. They've got one on the plateau, one in the middle of the jungle.
Should have maybe... Yeah, that seems like a kill that could have potentially been avoided. It's been a long 5-game series. These teams are going to be starting to feel some exhaustion.
Yeah. It's getting there. That's one of the things about those best of 5 series is it also brings in that fatigue factor. Which team has more endurance and is more better trained for playing massive amounts of high-level Dota in one day.
Whichever team happens to lose this has another best of 5 awaiting them tomorrow.
Yeah, there's your lower bracket disadvantage right there. You get back-to-back long series. Zai very close to his BKB. These Ancient Stacks have just completely turned his game around. He's now nipping at the heels of this Storm Spirit in terms of raw net worth, behind by only about 1k. That's a little bit ridiculous if you really think about how well G did early on. He's 2-0-1, has by no means had a bad game, and how abysmal the start was for Zai.
This is actually BKB Dota. All 6 core heroes are working on a BKB. A lot of them have finished it, some a bit further away. Your Axe about halfway there, your SF only about halfway there, but I think both teams are going to be playing passively until they get their BKBs, and then even then it's going to be like, well, they have BKBs, we do, who has an advantage? Let's fight around Roshan, because that's what we do in the late game. That's what we're going to settle to. Both teams are going to control the Roshan and fight around their smokes as well, because ASUS.Polar have the Axe, who's their big counter to the BKBs if you get a Blink Call, and Lion on the Secret side, if he gets a Blink Hex before you BKB, is the big initiator for teams. I guess you've got Roar as well, which goes through, but the physical damage needs to be there if you want to kill a BKB.
Right, I was just sort of thinking about who has that BKB advantage. I think it is ASUS.Polar. Death Ward and everything that Axe can do just gives you a little bit more control. Primal Roar is nice, but like you mentioned, stuck in that conundrum of how do you kill people? For ASUS.Polar, well, they've got a Death Ward, they've got bouncy glaives, they've got some options. Poke, though, from Secret.
And Roshan, they see it with the Hawk. I'm not sure if they'll go straight in or they may look for the pick-off and then go into Roshan. Lil on the high ground. Counts out one.
All right, Darkness is used. This is Radiant Vision we're looking at. They'll get jumped on here, and they'll go down quick. Sonic Wave there is going to make it happen. Now your Eclipse, it gets in, or interrupted. The Death Ward gets interrupted, but ASUS.Polar just falling over, dropping like flies. Illidan, he just has to turn tail and try to run. BKB expires, TP won't happen. It's a 4-0, and Secret say, forget about Roche, let's go for the base. Only one buyback available of the 4 dead, and it's on the Axe. Helpful, but is that enough? Can him and G make this hold?
The S4 Orchid, what a classic. Every single game. He just gets these clutch Orchids off, always on Sidoi as well. Sidoi always the one that Polar are fighting around with his Blink initiations, be it a Centaur, an Axe, whatever it may be. The Bat Rider in the past, S4 with these Orchids has just been a game.
Now the glyph comes out as they move into the tier 3 tower mid. Heroes starting to respawn, but Luna down for another 15. The bigger problem is they don't have their ultimates. No Death Ward, no Eclipse, no Darkness. It will be a free tier 3 tower for Secret after a very successful smoke. And they said they had aggressive wards before. Just check these babies.
Looking good. They can use this to keep track of the Polar movement around the map and try and take Roshan themselves. They still have 2 smokes left. It feels like Secret just used multiple smokes in quick succession. They used none in the early game. That's something which can really give them a strong mid to late game, which they kind of lacked the last few games. They're getting these Roshans. They have smokes at their disposal. Meanwhile, Polar, they have a smoke, but they just can't get the Roshan time. They also, it's just too obvious. With Dire Vision with their deep wards, and with Hawk, they see the entire map.
It seems that
they've got this like snake of wards through the Radiant base and into their jungle. They just have nowhere that's safe. Now Aegis on Arteezy. He's got the Scotty and full Yasha now. Probably Manta BKB, I think, coming.
If it's
but he's still good. That's the moral of the story here. And everyone else still finding
Vlad's coming for Bristleback. Zai saying we want to end this game and end it now. It's actually flying out on the courier, but won't be here for this mid-Brax. But this mid-Brax has no glyph. This may just go down uncontested.
Yep, FNG's around the backside. He's just now used the Darkness. To the right angle to initiate. Long range zip from G. Say goodnight to your mana pool. Doesn't find anything with it. He doesn't have a regen. Okay, that's good.
I mean, regen still is not like instant mana.
Yeah. All right, they get the mid lane of melee barracks. Range will stay standing for now. Looks like Secret are contemplating a wraparound to the bottom. You look at their vision, though, even with the Darkness active, they'll have some decent vision and say goodbye to it because Sentry Wards come down. We are at least one ward in the base.
Your Vlads have got a big creep wave. Well, okay, just kidding. They've got a creep wave coming down the bottom lane.
Standard creep wave in the bottom lane.
They needed a creep wave, Zaire. I'm like, here we go, big creep wave.
I like the hype. That's good. I got a big creep wave coming in. Whoa! Big auto attacks from Arteezy. Watch out.
4 melee creeps in 2 range. They can't be dealt with.
Still no good, though. And can this push be dealt with? That's the real question. No Darkness, but at least they have the Eclipse now as well as the Death Ward. Secret have all of their ultis available, just slow speeding. Look at this split, though. They're all spread about. No easy target. S4 BKBs right away as G zips in. Now say goodbye to your mana pool. He's forced to walk back to the well. That did very little to delay the push. Tower's down. If they want to hold barracks, they've got to go in soon. There's some creeps down. Illidan really doesn't want to ult here if he can get around it, but they have to do something. Too late. The barracks is absolutely quickly. With the ultimate out, it brings down S4. Now Illidan presses out of the base. It'll do a lot with its Eclipse. Finds the kill on G. That's Arteezy that does. He'll go down Zai. He may be weak, but he's strong enough to survive against 4. Requiem from Arteezy as he comes back up. Zai still alive. Mazes space. Arteezy needed. Now he's hurling snowball. Illidan, he's slowed down. He'll try to limp back to the well. Slam dunk comes out onto the Bristleback, but still a pretty good fight for Secret. They'll try to mitigate their losses as they lead.
They're going to get the hell out.
Kuro, he's going to be punished. The long range zip in.
He's out of bounds.
No! Stick charges.
No okay.
Secret. Okay, they don't pursue. Wow. Okay, so it's a hold for ASUS. They keep their barracks, but just barely.
The tier 3 tower. They lost their ranged Brax mid. And this Raintrack's bottom is close to that. I guess you've still got the melee. It still feels like Secret in a really strong position. They may be slightly
I use air quotes when I say hold. They didn't have to use any buybacks. That's one really good thing for ASUS.Polar there. They get a 2,400 net worth gain out of that. That's good news. Aegis of the Immortal is now expired, so they got through the hard part. Definitely argue that Secret did some pretty crippling damage there. Now FNG having some... What we're going to do is cut back to our pretty faces here. It's a big Kane Parker, not accusing anyone of anything, but we're not going to give them the opportunity if they were so inclined. So,
Who knows where the wards are?
Hello, friends. Who knows? I don't know. Where are they? Never going to know. So hopefully he can get back in here. This is a big game. This is not a time where we want to have to force a 5v4 resume, but oh boy. Hopefully it's just something. Hopefully a cat just tripped over the Ethernet cable and it's just a simple plug her back in.
Yeah, for Polar, the big scary thing this game is the comeback potential is just not as prominent as some of the other games they've won when they were down by last game with 15k gold. They haven't got... They've got a Luna who's good in the late game, but I feel against the SF, the Queen of Pain will be dealt with. You've got Raw to go through the BKB. Bristleback going to become a late game scary force. You've got BKB Vlad, so... That's
just nothing but wows. LD has infected the Twitch chat.
Oh man, that
wow,
the wow creep wave.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the wow.
The double range creep. Wow,
that's insane, dude. I don't know how they do it. I don't know where it comes from.
They held it. I mean, they didn't lose racks to it.
That's true.
Impressive stuff.
It's craziness. So Aghanim Scepter, who's got it on the way? Is that I thought I saw
Night Stalker has 500 gold short. Then you'll have it.
Just about has the point booster. That's nice. FNG will have some nighttime vision. What do you think about this nighttime vision strat? Obviously, vision is really important. We've talked about the Hawk. We've talked about Zeus. They're tried and true. But this Night Stalker Luna, like I said, we saw Cloud9 do it the other day, and I don't think it worked in that particular game either. It was a best-of-3 series, and I believe they lost that match. What do you think? Does it have merit? Is it a little too gimmicky? Is Luna just too weak in this meta?
I think it's a way to make Luna... It's like Luna suddenly becomes slightly more viable as a carry because you can see ganks coming your way when you can farm in more aggressive places during nighttime. So it's one way where Luna as a hero can maybe keep up in farm, but you compare it to like maybe a Juggernaut or something who can just do that whether it's day or night because he's got so many escape tools. He's so tanky with an SMY Skadi. You get a Manta style if you need to get out of the Orchid of S4. So I think as a whole, the Night Stalker makes Luna more viable as a pick. I think at the same time, Luna still has a lot of weaknesses.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. She's just, there's a reason she's not picked up a lot. You know, it's not her meta. But all right, we've got to resume. Looks like everything's good to go. FNG said, sorry, Dota 2 crashed, and then I had to do an update. So play a little bit longer there, but not to worry. We're right back in it, and... Well, Secret still in a pretty good spot here. Just to recap where we are, mid lane of Barracks down, tier 3 down in the bottom, and Barracks not looking so healthy. Luna finally starting to come online, though. Gets her first damage item in the Mantis style, but it has come at a grave cost, and that is the majority of their base.
If you hold on to your base and get Luna up to like a Butterfly, Home the Dominator, or ideally Butterfly Satanic, you spin things up this game, but at some point Arteezy's probably going to have a BKB with a Butterfly of his own, maybe some life still in there, so still going to be tough. FNG, looks like he's going to sell his bottle to finish off his Ag Scepter. It's a crucial pickup for him.
Okay. KB out on Arteezy now, and also the Beastmaster, Puppy, he gets his level 3 Necro Book. Another smoke from Secret. Here we go. They'll find them on the high ground, but Sadoy jumps in, initiates on the S4. Now G cruising in as well. Illidan on the high ground with a B2. Oh, that's the end of G. Now Sadoy, he falls also. ASUS.Polar in dire straits. 2 buybacks available on the 3 dead, but Luna stuck in the grave for the next 60 seconds.
Huge plays from Kuro, getting that immediate blink hex on G. They thought they had S4 with that blink call, but G got locked down, and this is bottom lane of Rax. Is a glyph up now. The melee Rax can be glyphed. I don't even know. It's probably not even worth flipping this. It's dead regardless.
This could be the GG push here. Will they burn the buybacks? I feel like ASUS.Polar have to. Maybe Storm can wait it out, but they've got to do something. This is your final fight. Tier 3 tower up top, taking pressure. They do have a glyph still. Axe will buy back also. They're just going to try to wait this out for the Luna. Her ultimate just now cooled down.
Replacing safe.
Or will they? Sadoy, he catches one. This is the right play though. G goes zipping out real far. Death Ward's been deployed. G, he's now out of mana. He's going to try to TP out. Oh, mama, that That was ambitious.
He's got a buyback here, but that's something Secret will jump to force out. They maybe expect him not to buy back because he wasn't using it, but once they find it coming into play, they'll just back off and play things safe.
Why did he do that? Okay, we'll hold that thought though. Sedoy jumps back in. This time they got the Eclipse. Big damage out on the Secret. Shadow Fiend and Lion will be the first to go down. They'll lose their axe, but well worth it. Now G jumps onto S4. And finally ASUS.Polar make the hold that they needed, repelling Secret and getting a huge net worth gain out of it. They'll also track down Zai. The only one that lives is Puppy here on the Beastmaster. What a fight.
Okay. That's the one thing the Storm dying does. Like, if you die and your opponents don't think you have buyback, you can catch them by surprise. As soon as the Axe Blink calls, that's your cue for the buyback. You time it, Secret are already committed to fight, or at least to lose their Bristleback, and they don't...
So you think that was all part of the plan? Is that what you're telling me here?
I mean, it was the plan once G died, for sure. I mean, G was only out there because he had buyback. If he didn't have buyback, he wouldn't have been making such a risky play.
That's true. That's definitely true.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird play from G, but the outcome was still okay and acceptable, but problem is Secret are going to respawn, G's buyback's going to be on cooldown.
Yes, that's exactly where my brain just went. And now his item progression will be stymied.
Axe maybe he also has no buyback.
Maybe he can get a BKB off this. That was a dieback for the Axe also. So his BKB not happening anytime soon.
Dire's top tower is under siege.
Secret in the driver's seat. Bit of gold swing back the Polar way, but when you're down 2 lanes of racks and just stunted the growth of...
It just feels so minor at this point. Yeah, I mean, it could be another 5k gold that they've gained, but the fact that Axe doesn't have a BKB hurts that much more. And I feel like that's a really big core item that, with Sedoy dying there, evaporates. And maybe he'll be able to farm it up before this game ends. The Witch Doctor got quite a bit out of that. Lil will find an Aghanim Scepter. Always a big item pickup. Huge damage output there.
Someone's going to have to keep track of their disable. And for the most part, Lion Kuro has to sit really far back so he doesn't get caught out by the Storm. And then he's looking to always counter-initiate the Storm. So it's probably going to become more maybe S4's job with his Orchid to use that on the Witch Doctor. Means he can't use his Orchid at the start of the fight. But at the same time, Axe and Storm with BKBs, Luna with a BKB.
He's going to Orchid anyway, exactly. Well, Axe has his coming on the way.
So with the... And I guess it's still worth using Orchid on Axe until he has a BKB. We've seen multiple times S4 just win team fights because of that. But
they just wait for next row.
That's the plan.
That's the plan, 100%.
They are in control. It's up to Polar to move out and make a play happen. At the same time, they don't want to do that with buybacks on cooldown, with the vision advantage going Secret's way. Even when it's nighttime, just having Hawks on your side, a lot of map control.
Hey, Illidan's using Hoof and Paw. Summit 2 mount from Stretch Goals. Yeah, he's cute. He has really tiny back legs, but he's... Secret. Oh, now they smoke.
They seem to always have smokes. What is this?
He's coming out so well. It's... Oh, there's also a double damage rune in the bottle of S4. This could be scary. Roshan just respawned. Polar, they're grouped up about their high ground. Now the stalemate around Roche begins.
Nighttime when the darkness wears off, do you know? We'll find out. It becomes daytime.
It's daytime. You can see the little sun right beneath.
This is worrying. This is bad for Polar.
Yeah.
G may get caught out too.
Oh no. Oh, they find him. Oh, he's definitely dead. Silence, text. No buyback for you. Forget about Roche. I think Secret can just roll their way through now. S4. Huge Sonic Raid connects all the 4 remaining members of the Radiant side. Brings down the Witch Doctor first. No dead boy there. It'll be a last-ditch effort from Illidan Storm Rage, but a clean 5-0 Secret. Doing it in style as they've marched to victory through that mid lane. Tier 4 towers fall, and the GG is called. Congratulations are in order to Team Secret. An intense 5-game series. ASUS.Polar put up one hell of a fight, showing everyone that they are absolutely worthy of being contenders here in the winter bracket finals, but in the end, they just couldn't do it.
We'll be seeing Team Secret here in LA for some of the players, their 3rd time. We've seen Puppy and Kuro here at both the Summit 1 and the Summit 2, and we'll see them for a 3rd